Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sundaze with the Clink Room. Today joined by Clink Room collaborator uh, Kevin Bigflyz. Kev, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Leon? Thanks for having me.
Good, good, good. Yeah, just really excited to get you a part of this week's episode. We're doing our best to kind of try to get everyone involved in the community their episode to kind of tell their story and get have the community have an opportunity to kind of meet you on a personal level and kind of hear your backstory. So, first, I guess first things first is how did you discover the Clink Room and what got you kind of started with either the collecting part of it or even the collaboration and submission part of it?
Well, the first time I ever found out about the Clink Room, um, I actually was watching CBS Sunday Morning, and this thing popped up about how the Clink Room was changing minor league baseball, and I believe it
Right.
was the Trash Pandas,
Nice.
and it just caught my attention. And the next thing I know, I watched the full episode, and then I rewound it, and then I rewound it again, and so I checked it out online, and yeah, I just kind of fell into my lap that way.
Mhm. Are you like a big sports guy yourself?
Yeah, I was a former baseball player. In a lot of my designs, you could probably see that. Big
Hmm.
on the baseball puns. Um, but yeah, baseball's been a huge part of my life for a very long time, and
Okay.
so the hats. I always had the pristine bat. I always had the pristine glove. And
Yeah.
now being a part of this hat community is just, it's the coolest thing. So I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of it.
Nice. Who's your home team? Who do you root for?
San Francisco Giants.
Okay. All right. Are you
Yep.
sad about the A's though?
You know what? I'm bummed about the A's because it was a great place to go and see a game.
Hmm.
The atmosphere was cool back in the day. I haven't been down in a while.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just a really cool atmosphere, and it was absolutely enormous, being a football and a baseball complex.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember days going, and I mean, I got to talk with Wade Boggs. I got to talk with my favorite player, Fred McGriff, when he was with Toronto.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Seeing McGuire and Canseco during batting practice hitting balls out of the stadium over the old chain link fence. Um, it was pretty amazing back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm bummed for them.
Yeah.
My family's from the Bay Area. My dad was played ball in Oakland and was raised in the East Bay. So
Yeah.
yeah, it hit close to home for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. Like we've witnessed just the mass exodus of Oakland sports. We've seen them lose the Raiders, to a lesser extent the Warriors, and now, um, unfortunately, the A's. But uh, do you remember which is your first hat that you bought and kind of what drew you to it from the Clink Room?
The first hat that I bought was actually a mystery hat
Oh,
because I
nice.
thought, why not? Let's just do a mystery hat.
Hmm.
And I grabbed all my relations in the royal blue colorway. And I saw the embroidery on that, and I loved the design. Um, and I thought, oh, here it comes. And the next thing I know, I was just rolling into it.
Right.
And I think now I'm up to almost 40 hats. I'm waiting on some this next month. So,
Hmm.
yep, I got the bug,
Yeah.
and there you go.
As a collector, like, what kind of criteria do you use to decide, like, that's the hat I need? Like, what are some of the things you kind of look for?
I'm big on the logos,
Okay.
the MILB style stuff. Um, and honestly, I try to support every artist in every way. I don't,
Mhm.
I've got a lot of Phil Hauser stuff just because I love his taste.
Yeah.
in fact, the rock, paper, scissors that you did in the new colorway is my absolute favorite hat.
Oh, thank you.
It was really, really a good call on that. Um, but yeah, I something just stands out to me. I want to grab it.
Hmm.
The most recent one that really stood out to me was Flanagan's Just Pause,
Yeah.
and I definitely had to grab that because if the embroidery turns out on that, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, have you changed your approach to collecting over time? Has it ever evolved, like the way you kind of purchase or acquire hats?
Well, I don't want to get stuck in certain colorways.
Hmm.
So I think really that's the only evolvement that I've had.
Okay.
I like to have a diverse selection of colorways, which
Hmm.
I know at times that can be really tough to do. Um, but I was really surprised because with the Land of Giants that I'm wearing right now,
Hmm.
the blue in that with the design in the green, I thought it was black. And then I got it and went, oh wow, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So but I do love black hats too. So
You can never
yeah,
have enough black hats, I think.
well, they
That's one of
come with
those things.
everything
Yeah, yeah, they're
for
just easy.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you have a holy grail in your collection, whether acquired or on the hunt for?
Uh, no, the one I was on the hunt for, I came in shortly after Rock Paper Scissors original,
Hmm.
and I really wanted that. I just, oh man, I missed it, and that's when I really started collecting because I didn't want to miss designs. And then it came back around, and I was super stoked for that. And in the meantime, I had ordered the black version of that hat,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was pretty much the one. I don't know exactly why that is, but I absolutely, I mean, whether we call it rock, paper, scissors, Rochambeau, that was just
Yeah.
something I remember doing as a kid, for
Mm.
anything, whether it was, you know, first captain on, street football or whatever. It's, okay, Rochambeau for it. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of tapped into the heartstrings on that design for
I
me.
don't know if it's an American thing or whatever. So I'm Canadian. So
Right.
some people do the rock paper scissors shoot. I'm more of a 1 2 and then 3 person, or as opposed to the fourth. So which one are you?
Well, I'm a rock, paper, scissors shoot guy.
Yeah, see that throws off my whole like timing. So that's
Right.
interesting. I don't know if it's a location thing or maybe a Canadian thing. I don't know. I've always just played like 1 2 3, but
Right.
different rules. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um, how did you kind of transition from like someone who like collected hats to now you're kind of like a collaborator? So I've noticed um you're one of like the main people that get to collab with Win Studios. So like how did that kind of come about? How did that relationship kind of start and evolve? Because you're wearing one on your head and you also have two more in production, and I see you from time to time in the crates and stuff like that. So kind of break that down for us. Like how did you kind of get involved that way?
You know, um, Actually, my wife was a huge inspiration on me drawing. Um,
Okay,
you know, I I actually make wiffle ball bats,
nice.
and I customize designs for people on orders. And I thought, you know what, I'd really like to get deeper into this.
Hmm.
And then knowing about the Clink Room, I thought, um, I'll just pick an artist. And I actually reached out to Win,
Nice.
and I had sketched up our first submission that didn't make crits, but it was called Basket Catch, and it was a picnic basket, going after a ball. And I said, hey, I'm just looking to work with somebody. And he said, yeah, just send it over. So I sent him the sketch, and then he sketched it up and sent it back. And kind of walked me through how to submit and how to be, really just dive into the community.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes things just work out,
Yeah.
whether we call it fate or whatever. But I've really been able to build a really good relationship with Win Studios, and I can submit something, and there's just something about it. He gets the feel for what I'm going for,
Right.
and it just kind of blossomed from there. And I'm a loyal guy. I've worked with other people. I've worked with Soundwaves. I've worked with Heather. Um, but yeah, there's just, and nothing against them. It just seems that there's just a lot more camaraderie, I guess, in our art and how they
Hmm.
complement each other. And his interpretation is amazing. And I've just been very lucky. And so that's pretty much how it was. But I just reached out to him, and in his kindness, he said, "Yeah, I'll try it." And
Awesome.
so, yeah.
Describe like the feeling that you get from coming like a collector slash fan to like collaborator. Is there more of a sense of pressure or more of a sense of excitement for you?
You know, for me, it's a really healthy outlet to be able to draw. Um, you know, it's something to be involved in. I love being a part of this community and having the opportunity that the Clink Room has offered artists
Mhm.
to express themselves in the way they do.
Right.
Um, yeah, I just think I would love to be able to do it on my own someday, and that's what I'm working for.
Nice.
But I just enjoy the people, and I enjoy speaking with a lot of the people, and kind of getting feedback, and um, there really is a sense of the community. And with me, I think we should be trying to uplift everyone and celebrate everyone's art. I know that
Yeah.
we're all a bunch of fighting brothers and sisters, um, at times, but I think that with the opportunity that we have to be a part of the Clink Room community, we really just need to, uplift people. And,
Yeah.
we're going to have our disagreements and things like that. But I just, I don't know. Part of me is like, well, there's no room for it. And I know there's, passion involved. And, but I just do this for a healthy outlet to
Right.
something, to something different. And really, it's all about the art
Yeah.
and what people are doing. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
Fair enough. I think I think as like collectors and as customers and as people who just want to see like the Clink Room grow, uh I think like people should be allowed to kind of voice their opinion, but then where it gets weird is when they start stating it as fact. So like, there's people that like side patches, people that don't like side patches. The good thing about Clink is they offer both options. So like when you start getting like a little bit disrespectful about it, it kind of gets weird for me. It's like, all right, man, like we get it. Some people like them, some people don't. Like the awesome part about it is there's a variety, right? Like if you don't like a side patch, there's usually 6 pre-orders that don't have them, you know.
Right.
And I think that stuff is stuff I hope that gets curbed soon, but I don't know if it ever will. I mean, that's like one of those like age old debates within the hat community too. That's kind of now found its way into Clink Room, unfortunately. Um, in terms of like the community, like where do you spend the most time kind of interacting with? Are you more of like an Instagram guy? Are you part of the buy sell trade group? Are you on the Discord?
I'm not part of the Discord,
Okay.
but I am part of the Facebook group, and I am on Instagram. Primarily, I'm on Instagram,
Hmm.
um, and just interacting with just side conversations, with different people, sharing art, and getting opinions of others, and things of that nature. Um, but yeah, I really try to just stay on the positive side of things
Right.
because it's so easy to be negative.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and I'm, I mean, I don't know. I've been doing this a while, but I still feel as if I'm pretty new
Yeah.
to all of it. And
Yeah.
so I've talked with Taylor, Mr. Dome Pieces, a lot just to, pick his brain. And, it's easy to talk to somebody who's in your same time zone.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, just reaching out to him and getting his opinions and seeing what he's got going on. But yeah, just conversations. And, a lot of people come to me in the community to vent. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is okay because I just want to be real with people, and I think we need to do that to better the community. We
Yeah.
all have this opportunity because of Clink Room, so I'm not going to put what I think and how I feel other than what am I doing to make the community better as far as Clink, because I'm sure Casey and others don't want to have to deal with this and hear the negative side of things. I think that they started this for a positive reason,
Yeah.
and that's a benefit to artists to be able to share their art and hopefully go to crits and then hopefully go to production and then turn a hat out, which I mean that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that there needs to be a focus and a perspective on the positivity in the community to better Clink.
For sure.
So
That's a great
yeah.
message. That's a great message. For you, like, can you describe the feeling of like from the concept to crits to production, and then for me the hardest part is the waiting, right? So you've gone through it once. You're wearing one on your head right now. Now you're waiting for the other two, but kind of what's that feeling like when you're opening the box and you're actually getting to see something that you had a hand in making? Like, what describe that feeling for me?
Well, the first one with Golden Sombrero, that
Hmm.
was uh, that was the first,
Okay.
and that waiting was, as Tom Petty said, was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Uh, but it turned out so awesome. And actually, I'm a dad to twin daughters, and one of my daughters uh, had struck a girl out 4 times and said, "Hey, Dad, I just gave that girl the golden sombrero. You should do that on a hat." So it kind of, with that idea, it all manifested 360. And then it came down to, holy cow, your idea that you gave me that I drew that went to, win, and then he drew it and then it went to crit. Like that whole process to be a part of that was super cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of the morning pals that actually went through um, my most recent and the last one that went through was my other daughter's idea.
Nice.
And so, being able to share that whole process is really cool. But yeah, waiting on the golden sombrero, it seemed like forever. And then I knew it was coming. And when I opened the box, it was just not a sigh of relief. It was just like, oh my gosh, okay, this is really happening.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was just so thankful and so just happy at that moment to be able to share that, because my family and I, we're all close,
Right.
so that we all know what everybody's doing, and to be able to share that with them, it was an experience too.
Yeah.
um, and it's kind of just manifested into 3 more hats actually. So
Yeah.
you know um, there's not a ton, and my expectation is just to put out the best artwork that I can, in a collaboration, and hope like heck that it goes up. And if it doesn't, then I just tip my cap to the other artists, and
Right.
support in any way I can.
Yeah. What sort of advice could you give to people? Because that's the thing about Clink, that it's survival of the fittest. Like it's not everyone makes it. Like like talk to the people. You know, um, it's all great and good when the hack gets made and stuff, but like the times that you don't succeed are the times that you might have to go in for a revisit or a revisal. Like talk about that process. What's that like?
So it's all about how you deal with adversity or discouragement. You
Hmm.
know, this is something we do. It doesn't define who we are,
Yeah.
and I think that if you're confident enough to, let's say, reach out to an artist to work with, if you're confident enough to do that, that's that first big step.
Hmm.
And the rest you just kind of ride. I mean, we're not always going to get things into crits. You're not always going to make it through crits. I've been able to get 4 hats. I've probably been to crits 10 times,
Hmm.
but I have about 40 submissions. So, am I failing? Maybe in the numbers it might look like failing, but um, it just, I think it's the perspective and the focus on getting better.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. Because if you're working to get better, you're only making the community better,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, just don't get discouraged. Keep going, you know?
Hmm. I think baseball wise, that was pretty good average, right? 400. So I'm saying that's
Yeah,
not bad, right?
it's not bad.
Yeah. All
But
right.
if you're looking at if you're looking at 4 to 10 on a test, that's not good.
That won't get you into Harvard, right? Yeah.
That's right.
What sort of themes and what sort of logos do you think you want to see more of? Like what kind of things you like if you were given, I guess, creative powers um at the Clink Room and you were able to pass more stuff through, like what sorts of things do you want to see more of?
More logo style stuff, which hasn't been voting really hot.
Yeah.
The voting has been really weird.
Yeah.
Um, you know, a lot of great art, but it's just for some reason, the voting it's been a lot different. But I think more of the logo type, you know. But I think that there are so many artists doing some really cool stuff
Mhm.
that that's the great thing about all of the submissions that we've been seeing. There's so much difference. Um, I don't know if that measures good or bad, but if we had so much alike, that would get kind of,
Boring. Yeah.
yeah, boring, I guess would be the word. So to see the different perspectives of artists and what they're coming up with, um, it's been really, really cool. But I wish that the logos would make a comeback to, and that's not just because that's primarily what I do.
Mhm.
Um, that's just kind of my thing. That's what I love to collect. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to purchase something to that I have a liking to, you
Mhm.
know. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
definitely. All right. As a father, I guess to multiple children, I won't ask you to pick a favorite child, but do you have a hard time picking a favorite hat of yours that you made? One of your creations?
my favorite creation is Morning Pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it just has that retro throwback feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Old
You
time
know,
cartoon.
I tell my kids, I'm like, yeah, on Saturday mornings, I'm not quite 50 yet. I'm on the downhill side to 50, but I grew up. I had an 11-inch black and white TV, and I sat on the couch, and I would wake up super early, and it would start with Mr. Ed, and then it would go into Popeye, and then it
Yeah.
was Bugs Bunny. But those were the days that just we're not going to ever go back to.
Yeah.
And I thought, what could I do that? So I kind of just sketched out an old school TV and a bowl of cereal, and said, "Hey Joe, what do you think, man?" And he did what he did, and um, yeah, it made it through, and I was really excited about that. But that's probably my favorite one that I've done so far.
Nice. Without kind of dating ourselves and sounding too old, I just don't think the new generation is gonna really understand like having to be somewhere to watch something, and it's not on your schedule. It's not on demand. You can't download it later. You know,
Yeah,
you had to watch what was just kind of given to you. Like that seems like such a crazy idea now. But like, yeah, it was the thing for me in the mornings on the weekends. I just remember watching reruns of Three Stooges all the time. Just
oh yeah,
that was my thing. Like I don't know, for whatever
classics.
reason. Yeah, just watching them.
Well, and
Uh,
that's the thing, when you're alive before the VCR is even a thought,
mhm.
that's that's really going way back.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
there was no recording and all watch later.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. No
you either show
DVRs,
up
no
or you miss.
downloading it. Yeah.
That's
You
it.
either missed it. All right, cool, man. Thank you so much for doing that, kind of giving us a
Absolutely.
peek behind the curtain and kind of learning a little bit about you. But yeah, let's kind of cover what happened this week at the Clink Room. So this week was a Deadstock Drop week. So they haven't, I feel like they haven't done a Deadstock Drop week for a couple weeks now. So they let them kind of stack up a little bit. So for the uninformed, these are all um, pre-orders that landed that have extra units, so they won't all be in full size runs, but they are available post pre-order delivery. So let's kind of cover these hats and kind of get your opinion on some of them. We got the retro seventh inning seagulls. Um, that kind of represents your neck of the woods a little bit. The Sandpipers, Summer Creamin', and Dead Man's Dive by Gabe. What are your thoughts on any one of these? You let me know.
Well, I absolutely love the retro 17 Seagulls.
Yeah,
And I just noticed that side patch. That's pretty badass.
yeah,
You
that bridge
know?
there, the Golden Gate.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like driving into the bay,
Hmm.
and yeah, you go to a Giants game and there they are. It's
How
pretty
annoying are they?
crazy.
Are they as aggressive as they make them seem?
They
Stealing
can
your
be.
fries and stuff. Yeah,
Oh, they can be. Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Um, I mean, how do you not like the Sandpipers? It's so well done. A
Hmm.
lot of detail in that, but just absolutely nailed it. Um, but yeah, the Dead Man's Dive, it's a good one. It's not really my forte, but all of the art is so well done. It's just really cool to see it. I do love the colorway for Summer Creamin'.
Hmm.
Um, you know, so yeah,
Yeah, my two winners here are the bird ones. I think I lean towards those. Like Hallucinathan really early on in Clink Room 2.0 made the South Beach Flamingos. So I feel like he started on the East Coast, and then now this is like his West Coast one with Seventh Inning Seagulls. Just a really cool rad logo there. And then 40, man, he's just a really good storyteller. I think a lot of his like designs, they just have so much personality to his characters. It's like you look at it and you're like, I want to learn more about like what the hell's going on here. So
right. I
great,
wish I
great
could draw
artist.
like that. I mean,
Yeah,
really, it's really well done.
yeah, real cool personalities on all his characters for sure. All right, now we got Cactus Sluggers by Design with Jake, Lotus by Gabe, Spring Spring Dinner by Megan, and Bruise Control by Raphael. Any one of these designs kind of stick out to you?
Well, you know me, Cactus Sluggers. I
Hmm.
think it's great. I love the action in the design.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, Lotus, I'm not big on the pink, um, and I'm not big on skulls. Um, Spring Dinner is really well done. Um,
Hmm.
Bruise Control, it's another good one. It's tough for me with vehicles on hats. And one of my submissions was actually a Bigfoot in a van,
Yeah.
which it was tough for me. I'm like, oh man, does it really fit on a hat? But it's really well done. So, but I would say cactus sluggers for sure, just because it's right up my alley.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's something you can wear to like the Arizona Fall League and be the only person there with it, you know.
Right.
Real cool design. And yeah, Arizona is just synonymous with baseball with like the spring training. Half the teams having their spring training out there, and then Arizona Fall League and stuff like that. Spring dinner, I feel like this one suffers a little bit from the photography here. I think like when you see the pictures in hand, there is a little bit more contrast, but something about either maybe the flash they used or just the white on it, it just seems like there's a lot of white. Um, maybe it's like the
Yeah, it's kind
thread.
of convoluted, isn't it?
Yeah. But I've seen some like in hand pictures, and I feel like it looks a lot more smooth and it has more contrast. Maybe it's just the flash being turned up on that picture.
Right.
Um, I'm kind of with you on the Lotus. I'm not loving the pink on it. I feel like the skull's a little kind of random. It's kind of a mixture of like two things, you know, like the Lotus is supposed to represent like all these like cool and like positive things, and you stick like a skull on it. So
Yeah, and for some reason, it seems to me on the Lotus that the skull has hair pulled up into a like a ponytail in some
oh
way.
right.
I can't unsee it.
hmm And bruise control. So like at its core, like it's drawn real well. It's real cool. It kind of gives you like this twisted metal, Mad Max kind of feel, like American Hot
Right.
Rod and stuff like that. The problem with stuff like this and it being like a non-licensed product is like it's almost like this ambiguous car. Like you can't tell what kind of car it is. I'm not like a real big car guy itself, but like for people that are like really in the cars, um, they might not take to it because it's like kind of like random and kind of made up almost, but it is like a rad like hat. It's like a cool like piece.
Yeah, I do like how the colors jump off that black for sure.
Yeah, the copper row work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked it up while we're kind of chatting. So like Lotus typically um sacred for purity, rebirth, and strength. I feel like the skull is like working as complete polar opposite to those things. But like sometimes that stuff works, like you put a skull um on like an animal or something. I just feel like this one is a little bit like unbalanced almost. Like it almost feels kind of random. Maybe if you put it in the heart of the Lotus almost, maybe kind of change the angle a little bit. It's just like right
Yeah,
there on the
maybe.
pedal, it just seems a little kind of random and as an afterthought a little bit. But
Right.
I'm with you. Cactus Sluggers kind of sticks out and is kind of the winner for me on this slide. Liquid Courage, King Rex, Joker's Wild, and Hide or Die by Phil. Any of these designs kind of stick out to you?
Well, obviously the hide or die. I mean, it's Phil's work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's such a good logo,
Yeah,
and he never fails to deliver on his stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, that definitely. Liquid Courage is great. Um, I do like the mix of the colors. I love that almost iridescent blue into the flame, and the shot glass is done really, really well.
yeah,
Um, I just the other two, the Joker's Wild is really cool because of the way the hat is. I'm not really huge on um, the logo itself. Again, well done, but yeah, and then King Rex, it's just a dinosaur. So
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
um, again, and this is never taking away from the art. I mean, I'm sure the King Rex would look amazing embroidered.
yeah.
Yeah, but hide or die. I mean, how do you just can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, it's just Phil, man, master cartoonist. He's able to capture like just almost like bottle an essence and put it into his characters. Like that's a skill that not many people have. I'm with you with like Joker's Wild, like it's like a cool execution. I just don't know practically like if I'm ready to wear like a half hat. Um,
Right,
Concept wise though, it's a real cool concept. You know, it's got that Harley Quinn Joker almost mashup. You know, character wise.
right,
Uh, King Rex is real cool. It's drawn real well. It's done real nice. I just feel like it's a little bit like I don't know if immature is the right word, but like like you could picture like someone who's under 8 who really likes dinosaurs that would really like enjoy that hat. I just don't know as an adult, you know, how
right.
if there's really a push for it. But I could see like I don't have any like kids myself, but I could see like buying one of these for like one of my friends' kids, that's obsessed with dinosaurs, and they would totally love it. So there's a
Right.
market and a cap for everyone. I feel like, and Liquid Courage is cool. It reminds me a little bit of like that Simpsons episode, the Flaming Mo episode.
Yeah.
Just like the shot on fire. I've never had a shot that's on fire. That seems like an oxymoron, but yeah, pretty cool piece there. All right, so now the next four: Lights Out, Jason V, one of the Clink, to me, one of like the high end Clink submitters, clinkers. Poacher's End by Ryan, Vita Eterna, Sierra Gons, and Unmasked by Jacobo. Anything here that sticks out to you?
Well, I love Jason's art too.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the lights out. We don't see a lot of boxing
No.
logos, and I think execution wise, with from the light bulb to the you can almost see that energy transfer into that left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like the quick left hand punch. I love that.
Yeah.
Poacher's End, uh, really well drawn. The detail is amazing. Um, you know, Vita Eterna, yeah, again, artwork is great. I don't see myself ever wearing that, and I don't know if it's because I feel like I would be jinxed or um, and yeah, and Unmasked. I mean, it, it's good. Again, it's a good drawing. I just, you know, um, Lights Out just sticks out to me so well here in this
Yeah.
group.
Yeah. That's cool. For me, I really like the Unmasked by Jacobo. It's like a ghost, but then when you use the glow in the dark as a skeleton, so I think it's like a cool like kind of reveal
Oh, it
there.
is the glow in the dark. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jason V is always good, and Ryan Simmons um, always puts through quality work, and Sierra's always solid. But for me, Unmasked was the coolest one for sure.
Yeah, all of these artists are amazing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Now we'll be moving on to the shock drop. No, we're doing the last call. Sorry. So these next 6 hats that we'll feature, all of their pre-orders end tonight at midnight. So if you're watching this Sunday afternoon, you have a couple hours to make your final decision before these hats get sent to production, and potentially you have some savings too. So if you catch these on pre-order, you do save yourself $10. So the first 3 will be featuring artists that you're familiar with, Win Studio with Darkest Hour, The Comeback, and Mixtape. What sticks out to you here?
Well, I like the glow onto the owl from the actual lantern, and then the flame detail in the lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's really nice what they did there. The blue and the orange and the yellow coming off of that black, it really sticks out. The comeback, I'll just be honest, scares the hell out of me. Yeah, with the pitchforks and the scythe and
Yeah.
uh, super intense design, really well done. And then mixtape, we see Sierra going with a lot of the stuff that he's known for. I wish that the tape was turned the other way on that.
Okay. So he's not
Yeah,
upside down.
right. Because as I look at the eyes, I'm thinking, wait a second, but again, it's, the younger generation won't know. You could put a tape in one way or the other in the old boom boxes and whatnot. So the detail of the tape is really well done. It just, for some reason, the way the eyes are, I would picture that to be inverted.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way you always put the tape in if you're dealing with a Walkman. If you're putting in a stereo, it's always the other way.
Right.
Some people are like, "What the fuck's a Walkman?" So we won't do that. But
Well, that's it. We're aging ourselves again.
yeah, definitely. Darkest Hour, smooth hat. I think I was a little critical on him before because it's very similar to like a kind of owly, wispy design he did before. But I can't argue with this art. It's great. Like you said, the light source off the lantern that he's holding is real dynamic. I'm sure it's gonna embroider good. But yeah, that's a smooth design. The comeback, I like where Seamus and Rusty kind of changed the perspective of the design. The original one, I believe, was a lady burning behind two gavels, which was kind of like, oh, like, like it was kind of too real. Yeah, it was kind of too real, like people, on a witch hunt, burning people at the stake. This one is like the witches, like taking back the power and kind of burn the rest of the villagers, which I think is like not necessarily like a cooler message, but at least it adds more to the dynamic of the story. The other one was just a little bit too focused on like a weird period of time, I think. So
end all be all type of thing. And the flame work and the flame work in this design is spectacular.
Crazy. Yeah.
Very
I do like the composition of this way better. There's a little like weird part where there's like a missing gap piece of the flame almost, like right to the right side a little bit, but other than that, I think this design's kind of good, and I think it's gonna embroider cool. Probably do flat embroidery on like the background flames, and then have it raised up in the front. I could just picture Casey going and doing his thing with that one. And yeah, Sierra just continuing his like mixtape 80s era. Like this is stuff that kind of speaks to older
us.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. More refined taste, I guess. People kind of grew up in the 70s and 80s, but yeah, it's just smooth piece. So mixtape. The next three, some more. Sun's out, guns out. There's no guns out, and it's just sun's out. But and hard candy. What are your thoughts here?
I was looking at them last night. I love them all. I actually purchased S'more because I got Harshmallow, and I thought, wow, this is a really complementative hat to that, for my collection. I love the colorway. The graham crackers, it's a little, different, but how else do you do it? But I just love what they did here. Sun's out. It's great. It's it's coming to the end of the summer in some parts of the world, but summer's still here in NorCal. But it's kind of like that Florida beach hat, SoCal beach hat. It's awesome. I think the colorway complements the design really well, and hard candy is great. I mean, Gons and COD. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
The one thing that throws me off though on hard candy is just how the shared the middle of the design, how the arm. I wish the middle arms had a little more detail coming out.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Onto holding the bat and the chain. But other than that, I love the two different expressions. The same but slightly different. I just think it's really well done. All three of these, I love them.
Yeah, I'm seeing that part now too. Would you have opted to put maybe like an outline around that arm to kind of give it like that definition? I'm seeing it now. Yeah, those are kind of harder to see.
Yeah, I would probably incorporate the red down, in a way to still keep the shadow, obviously.
Yeah.
But bring that red or maybe fade into the red somehow.
Yeah.
To really, kind of break up the shadow because the arms are coming into view.
Yeah.
They're not shadowed. So, but I just still so well done.
Yeah, I think I saw like a meme the other day with this candy. It's like after 40 years, no one knows the freaking name of those freaking candies still. So I thought that was funny. I
I
seen
used to
that
just
meme.
call. Grandma, do you have any strawberry candy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't even know if they tasted like strawberry. I can't even remember.
I think they kind of do. Yeah, like that fake strawberry, like that kind of fake strawberry taste that you like cough syrup, kind of
Ooh,
like freezies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm with you. S'more is an absolute must if you got his other version, and I think that one, the Marshmallows, and I think that goes real super cool, super well with Campfire Stories with when Creature
yeah,
did that one. So it's kind
yeah,
of like
that's such
this
a good one.
like a campfirey uh, food kind of series, you know. And yeah, Jason V always like that. I feel like this is like a alternate like mascot for like Sunny D or some type of like orange tropical breeze type drink or whatever. And uh he's a Dolphins fan, so you almost see that kind of Dolphins colorway kind of
Yep,
hidden in there a little bit. So
yep.
uh, real smooth trio right here for sure. Uh and then Shock Drop. So we had 40 come back with the Shadow Socks. And then 6'5" Bold with the astronaut ice cream. Um, what are your initial thoughts on these two?
Shadow Socks is awesome in this colorway.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love how the two grays come out, of the ninja, and just the design looks so good on this purple colorway. It's just
mhm,
awesome. Um, I like astronaut ice cream. The lower part, um, I felt like maybe there could be an outline on the right side of that design, to more enhance that it was a ice cream bar because it just kind of fades into the red. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, two great designs. You're not going to miss out, but I'm definitely going to grab that Shadow Socks for sure.
yeah. I don't know if they meant to, but like the astronaut ice cream is almost like in an almost turned into like a French flag almost. So I don't know if they kind of
Hmm.
meant to do that or not, but definitely I'm with you. Shadow Socks is my pick, and I have a couple of these in hand, so I'm gonna show them off real quick. So in terms of the Deadstock, the only Deadstock hat that I had from this grouping, I had it originally when it first delivered, was Yokobo's
Oh,
um,
there you go.
design. So
See, it looks so much different in
yeah, like
hand than it does in the picture. That is so sweet. Look at that
look at
detail.
the texture on the hand.
Wow.
Yeah, and then a nice grander. Uh, the Kong. I don't know if the glow will work. So I have so much light in here, but we'll see if it activates a little bit for you. No, it did not activate. But basically, you have to take my word for it. You'll see the skull all glows in the dark.
That texturing is unbelievable.
Yeah. Maybe I'll post the picture in post of it lit up, but this is definitely to me the winner out of the Deadstock drop, and then Shadow Socks.
Oh, that is so nice.
So a little bit of insider information. If you do like this color purple, you'll start to see it a lot in the next coming few weeks, leading up to Halloween. So keep that in mind. So
It looks
purple
so
will,
iridescent off of there.
yeah,
That's
almost like this
so nice.
Undertaker kind of colorway, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah, and then it's got the patch. So not a metallic purple, but in the light, it kind of looks like metallic purple. And then yeah, you got to do a lot to earn one of these patches. I don't know what the threshold is or what the exact number is, but um, kind of this is like a badge of honor. So if you got that Clink Classics side patch added to your hat, you did something good that week. But yeah, those are the hats that kind of dropped this week, not including the new pre-orders. Yeah, it was. I think it was a pretty strong week overall. Um, I think next week you're gonna see a really cool pack. Another one of the influencer packs are coming out. So for
I
in terms
really
of the
love
fresh
those.
colorway, yeah. So brace yourself for that. So now we're gonna be getting into the Monday Morning Critz portion. So these next 20 designs that we will kind of go over and preview will be up for your vote. Make sure you get your votes in early to try to help the designs that you want to see go to pre-order for Friday. So let's get into it. First off, we got Heather. You mentioned doing submissions with Heather. This time she's here with the Prowler. What are your thoughts here?
Very clean design.
Mm-hmm.
Is the moon a glow in the dark moon?
I don't think so, but they can easily change that for the pre-order.
Yeah. Just in time for Halloween. I'm just not big on vampires.
Okay.
She's improved so much. It's really awesome to see how far she's come along, and her art is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The detail is great. Yeah, I don't really have a taste for the darker stuff, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, the colorway it's a hot colorway. I love it. I just yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that.
Yeah, I love dark stuff. Like I'm wearing a freaking vampire right now. I feel like composition wise, it's kind of all over the place. So the subject matter itself, excellently drawn. He's got that cool kind of collar. Then you got these bats, and then a huge moon, and then a small ass castle. I don't know if all that is really kind of needed. The castle's a cool call up because it's almost like a 2.0 of her other kind of like landscapey castle kind of design. So I don't know. I just feel like when you have all these like different elements put in, it needs some kind of like cohesion and some kind of like symmetry or synergy.
I think
I
it's
guess
the name that's throwing me.
Prowler.
Yeah. What is he prowling? I mean, I understand Dracula and that. It's just Prowler. I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around that. But I agree. The castle's kind of a cool little throw on the side of the moon there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know if I love the composition of it. I probably would move some stuff around, maybe make the moon smaller, have the background kind of on the other side. I don't know if it needs the bats and
or maybe take one bat and move it into the light of the moon, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And just take two out, maybe, or three out, and maybe just have one so where you can see the entire bat, knowing that Dracula can turn into a bat.
Yeah, you kind of shift the bats almost into the line of his hairline, almost as if he poofed into it or whatever. But yeah, cool piece. Just small stuff here and there. The colorway is cool, smooth. Graphite black, red. Just I think this will vote very well. We'll see if it makes it. But next up, Flanagan with Eternal. I feel like this was one of his submissions that didn't make it initially, but then he put it in like a group post, and I'm glad to kind of see it here. What are your thoughts on this design here?
I remember it from way back. I think somebody said this should be on a restaurant's menu. I love that, the whole design. I'm still thrown on, I forget who said it, but it's like a bubble man. So you've got it looks like two eyes and a mouth in the dragon there, right below the mouth. But the artwork is awesome, and I absolutely love this. I love the colorway to complement it too.
Yeah, it's a cool like trick that we've seen. I think it's Explicit Ink use this like tan wheat kind of color to kind of mimic like a skin tone, and then you use like these negative breaks that you naturally do for like this kind of traditional style to kind of incorporate within your design to still kind of capture like detail. It's like that kind of Yeah, it's like very cartoony, like Ed Hardy, almost uh that kind of like a art style. So that's like classic Americana.
Yeah,
I
almost like it could be on a rug, or
yeah,
I mean, it's really cool. And I guess why isn't the button black? I don't know. Is that a red?
I feel like yeah, it's that kind of cardinal maroon
Mm,
burgundy-ish color they used. Um, I just feel like when you do like American traditional style, which this kind of mimics, like you should stay within that kind of color palette. So yeah, that
Right.
red kind of throws me off a little bit. Um, in terms of like the anatomy of the dragon, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit, like super thick and then kind of wispy. I don't know. Um, I watch way too many hours of like Ink Master, so like, uh,
Yeah.
I just feel like the anatomy of the dragon is throwing me off a little bit, but like the concept is real cool. You got that classic pose of like a panther, kind of like a climbing panther that you see a lot of people get like American traditional style tattoos of. This time it's a tiger, so it's different. It's definitely a cool piece. There's a lot going on. I don't know if they can embroider that large on a hat, so I think
Right.
they might need to play with the proportions or maybe the positioning of this stuff, but it would be a cool piece to see. Definitely. I
The
love
embroidery would
Flanagan's work.
be really amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Rolling. Win Studio, what are you thinking here?
Um, yeah, I mean, I like Win a lot. Sometimes I'm not a super fan of his stuff. Um, I think, in my opinion, as a collector, I'm just kind of over the skulls and the skeletons and those things. Um, Conceptually, is he rolling the dice on life or death? I don't really follow it.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, the artwork is phenomenal. I love it. Um, I think the dice are done really, really well, and I love the colors. I just think that I'm trying to figure out what he's rolling to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a cool piece. He's almost like got this like airbrush, like you could see this on like an airbrush t-shirt almost, like
Right.
one of those like nice little pieces. But I'm with you, like I feel like this is kind of missing that like plus one or that real connection. Like he's done a great job at, you know, submitting these pieces of art that look aesthetically great. And we can't really pick it apart from that point of view. But as a connection piece, as a like I want to run and buy this hat, like that's what it's missing a little bit, like that kind of connection to the
Right.
individual. Like let me know a little bit more about you. Like
Right.
what are we talking about here? Like without seeing the description, like the name doesn't even really tell us nothing. So sometimes I
Right.
feel
I
like his work
Now,
needs that a
granted,
little
I
bit of.
mean, I love the shadowing that he's done.
Hmm.
I love the way the tie is kind of coming out of the jacket in a way because it kind of shows the depth. If a skeleton had something on, it would be more pronounced, right? I think that he did a really great job with that. I see snake eyes up on the die.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, other than I think it just conceptually, you know, um, it's hard to kind of land on what that is.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving forward. We got Burn by 14-8. Kind of like the Sacred Heart meets Bat, Bleeding Eye thing going on here. Um,
Right.
what are your thoughts here?
I don't know what I think about this.
Yeah.
I think I guess my first thought on everything is, would I wear this?
Mm,
As a collector, um, whether I'm designing something or I'm looking to collect something. Um, it's just not something I would wear, but I love 14.8 stuff. I love what he's doing, and I think that the simplicity of this goes a long way in the design.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really all I can say. I don't know what I'm looking at. As far as burn, I mean, I don't know. With the burn of a broken heart, I don't, a
Yeah.
sad heart, I don't. Um, but I do like the simplicity of the design for sure.
Yeah. And it's like he's using like this kind of colorway that like Caffeine did. It's almost the same kind of like
Uh,
purple black with the red under, a lot of hits of gold, and
right,
kind of taken from that a little bit. But yeah, like it's got all these like elements of stuff we're used to seeing, uh, the eye, the sacred heart, the wings are like the Von Dutch with the eye with the wings, and there's like a lot of like things here that we're kind of
mhm,
used to, but we're not um kind of given the explanation of like why they're put together. It's almost as
correct.
if it's like what yeah, it's kind of a mishmash of stuff. Art wise, it's cool. It's got this like minimalistic kind of almost tattoo sticker style um thing going on. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I don't know if anything's like really driving me to like say, yo, I need this in my collection.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward. Iced by Rafael. What are you thinking here?
Wow, that's dynamic.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the expression is really cool.
Yeah.
I love. I would love to know what they would be embroidering with,
Hmm.
because if this was done with any glimmer iridescence to it, it would be spectacular.
Yeah.
Right now, it just looks very flat to me.
Yeah.
Um, so it leaves it up to, I guess, my interpretation of what I think it would look like. But this would be something that I would love to see beforehand before I ordered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I love the detail of the teeth. Um, you know, the the whole face is very accurate as far as it's almost like that bear's coming at me, ready to rip my head off.
Yeah. I could see this being like a bottle topper on like $1,000 bottle of vodka or like a hood ornament or something like that. But yeah, I'm with you. Uh, I'm curious to see how they pull it off. I mean, if anyone's gonna pull it off, Clink's gonna pull it off. I think they're
Right,
gonna use like a flat spur silver gray as like kind of um the background. They'll probably use like a pewter, maybe semi metallic pewter for like the details, and then like a metallic silver for the diamonds almost. But yeah, I could
right.
see this being like a really cool kind of piece after the fact. And when it delivers, people are gonna be hitting themselves on the side of the head, be like, why didn't I order that? But
Right.
this is a hard one to kind of look at if you're kind of new at looking at mock-ups and um, not familiar with the game, I guess, with the Clink game. But yeah, I think this one executed properly will be a prime hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. The rhythm of the night. I can't say this without thinking of the song, so I think that's
DeBarge,
part of it.
baby.
Yeah,
DeBarge.
yeah. Um, and I think of like the Night of the Roxbury kind of skits and stuff like that. But yeah, what are you thinking of the rhythm of the night here? Not a lot of letters we see that make it, so I'm kind of pushing for this one.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that, he wanted to incorporate, the K. Maybe I should buy it just because my name's Kevin, but
Mhm.
um, I wish that the K was not there and that the light coming, almost that disco ball lighting was coming out from behind him. I think the night's great. I think the pose is great. Um, but if you drop that letter and you extended the light out a little bit more, I think it would just be, so much better. And I think, that the letter kind of condenses that. And I want more of that, disco flavor, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cannot get that song out of my head now that I, see it.
I almost wish he was a little bit more casual. Like have the mask flipped up, and you can kind of see his face. Maybe like a John Travolta-esque,
Oh yeah.
kind of face, maybe Will Ferrell even. But like, yeah, just kind of being just a little bit more goofy rather than having it built into the mask. That way, just kind of have it face mask up. You can kind of see him and kind of just give it that little bit of extra personality, just make it a little bit more fun. And then um I can't decide if I like. I feel like I want to cheer for the K because we don't see letters, but he's already forming the K. So yeah, I'm with you. Maybe just have the light particles just work it in as like a reflection. Maybe that'd be kind of cool within the armor. I don't know, but yeah, it's like right there, 97% of the way there. But
It's
it might
super
make it.
fun.
Yeah, but it's a cool like concept for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 7, Carpenter Bees. Matt Bells and Whistle. With this one, we've seen a lot of bees get worked in, like a killer bee and the different honeybees playing baseball. This time we got a carpenter bee. What are you thinking here?
I love the logo idea here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I love how the nail is, clenched in his hand. I would love to see the hammer turned so I knew it was more of a hammer,
Yeah.
you know. Um, now I'm looking at it straight on as if, it's going to be pounding me in the forehead, right? But
Yeah.
if it was turned in the direction of the nail, I think it would do it more justice. And again, it's another fun one. The B is done really well, and yeah, I think that's just. I love the colorway for it. Um, I just think that I would want the hammer turned as if it's going to be hitting the nail instead of just rearing back.
Yeah. I think this is real cool. He's missing some limbs. Like, I mean, obviously we got to suspend belief a little bit. I mean, it's a bee
Right.
wearing a mask, working on stuff. But I don't know. Like, I think it'd be cool to just have different elements, different maybe tools making up. If this like kind of style doesn't work, then just you can go a different direction and just make the cart like the bee itself be built out of different tools. Maybe like the bottom portion. Um, Maybe that is like a measuring tape or something. The wings are different saws. You know, like just have it
Oh
like
yeah,
be really like a carpenter, like different pieces, or different tools from it.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah. But yeah, I think like as is, it's real cool. It's real clean. I can picture, this being like a minor league hockey team's identity potentially. But if it doesn't work and doesn't get through that way, I think it'd be cool to just incorporate, like find different cool ways to incorporate different tools. And I'm with you. Maybe turn it so that he's holding the hammer, and you can see it's a hammer, but maybe another hand is holding a screwdriver, or a drill, or a saw in another hand, and just kind of just
Or
be
even
this
or
crazy.
even a screwdriver in the pouch on his tool belt.
Yeah. I just feel like he's
Yeah,
missing some tools a little bit, maybe
right.
a wrench. Yeah, but
Yeah, or a monkey
it's a
wrench
cool.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. It's a cool piece though, for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, good job, Matt. Ice Falcons by Ink Park. What are your thoughts here?
Um, I guess I like it. The Is that supposed to be a Jason mask? I guess.
Yeah, kind of like a goalie
Just
mask. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, for a hockey logo, that's pretty sweet. I think
Hmm.
the concept is really cool. Um, you know, I I don't know. I think it looks great on the colorway. Again, from the perspective of a collector, I'm not a hockey guy,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's a great logo. It's not something that I would be interested in. Um, but John does such great art, and his lines are really, really clean. I love how um, the colors kind of come in from the outline. to, give me the idea of Falcon's head, I guess. But yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
So my thing with this is that, like, so Ink Park was part of one of the original projects with Hack Club when they teamed up with a lot of Clink Room artists. It was called the Hack Club Hockey League, and at the time, New Era did not have the rights to do or mass produce NHL hats. It was with Adidas and Fanatics, I believe, at the time. So they got together and they made all these like fictional hockey teams. John's one of his most legendary designs was like the Mile High Mayhem. I remember Hillside Goods was involved, Dankadelic, Ephra, a bunch of different artists. So I feel like this is kind of like an offshoot of that, but then the Ice Falcons to me doesn't have much identity to either a team or even a place. Like Falcons are not really known to be in the ice or nothing. So I feel like that is kind of missing from this. Like if he's an Ice Falcon, like the colorway should be blue or some type of blue,
Yes.
incorporate him being frozen in some sort. I just feel like there's just that kind of like +1 that's missing. It's like it's a cool piece, it's a rad piece. I could never draw nothing, like this.
Right.
I just feel like it's just missing that kind of connection to the thing.
To ice.
Yeah.
I
kind of tying it together.
Yeah, just kind of bringing in some different blues, and yeah, I totally see what you're saying there.
Yeah, but cool piece. I love John's work, but I just feel like you just need to something needs to kind of tie it all together to make it that like that's the one. Yeah. Speed Demon, Matt Bells and Whistles. This one's real cool. What are your thoughts here?
I love it. I love the colorway, and I know I've said the skull thing and whatnot. It just there's
this is a different way to do it, at least.
It really is, and there's a retro tone to this design that I love. It's just cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in any kind of art, whether it be, tattoo art or, anything, there's just a retro flair to it that I really dig.
Mm-hmm.
And the pipes coming out, and it just right there, it's telling me that that's just hauling ass down the road.
Yeah, for sure. You can kind of see the movement of it, like
he's really through that, right?
Yeah, he's really.
But the colorway is awesome with this.
Yeah, it's like got this like graphite, kind of dark gray, and that orange really works well off of it. It's got like this that Ghost Rider kind of feel, but it's not Ghost Rider, yeah, this is a rad piece for sure. I don't really have nothing bad to say about this. This is a cool piece.
Really well done.
Yeah, this should vote well, and like I think I was a little bit more like critical on the other stuff, like, oh, I need this cool story, I need this or that or whatever. But like that all gets trumped if it's just visually like cool. Like it's just I don't know. I don't need the story to this. This kind of
the minute you brought it across the stream, visually it snapped at me. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I love that about designs that people do. When you can, if you're just perusing through, different things, and then it's like, bam, it just kind of jumps out at you. I love that kind of design, and that's what this is doing. And I think it's a lot to do with the colorway as well.
Yeah.
And how the design's incorporated with that. It's really well done, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. I think one like small little tidbit, maybe like add a little bit more of that motion to the front tire so that it's kind of being pushed, like that flame is being pushed all throughout, and kind of like that, like real cool lighting he has on his arm and his leg is real cool, but there's no real source of that fire.
Right.
So maybe add it, I don't know, either on the front wheel, maybe through the light is protruding, and then maybe just a tiny bit of flame coming out of the exhaust pipe, and then you're right there. But yeah, just a real cool piece for sure. All right, moving forward, we got the Panderos by Ink Park is back with this one. So we've seen him drop a couple similar kind of concepts. We saw him do the marker kind of follow up to his Clink Kong with like a pencils. We saw that done as a marker wearing a bandana. We saw the Pandits, which was like a panda bandit, and then now we got the Panderos. So what are you thinking here?
Um, Such nice art. So
Yeah,
it's so good.
yeah,
I love the shading of the flowers on the bandana for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the clink above the eye, that kind of throws me a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but I can definitely feel the depth, of the nose underneath with the mouth and how that would configure underneath the bandana, pulled nice and tight. I think the eyes are throwing me um, because I don't have the perspective on the pupils. So it looks like he's looking up.
Hmm.
Um, but maybe they're not supposed to be there. I don't know, but it's kind of throwing me. It's like it's the panda's looking up to something, you know, maybe the coif of his hair. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
curious to know what character that is on his like this part of him. Like, if
right.
it is that Chinese, is that Japanese? I can't read either. Um, I'm not sure what that is. I hope it's not just random. And knowing John, it probably isn't just random. It probably means something. So I'd be curious to
Right.
see what that means. Um, yeah, this is like two things you don't normally see. Like the panda is such like a Chinese national symbol, and then like the sakuras is more of like a Japanese thing. So you're kind of melding the two. Um,
Hmm.
it is interesting. You've got that kind of Fuji colorway that Hat Club kind of popularized. So the black gray with the pink under. And Clink's done it multiple times with their Japanese stuff. So it kind of fits that. I don't love using a Chinese symbol within a Japanese theme, but
Right.
visually it's cool. It's a cool piece. I almost wish you got more mouth. Almost like maybe fill in the bottom more bear
Right.
like, almost bear shape it.
A little more
Um,
robust underneath there for sure.
yeah, but art wise is smooth. So
It's
you
super
know,
smooth.
yeah, a couple small things like yeah, like I would want to figure out what that either Hanji or Kanji is, and other than that, John's always really good with his art. So I think this will should vote well. This one should make it. We'll see. Uh, Number 11, Purple People Eater. Flanagan and Josh got together. Purple People Eater. Okay, cool. I mean, he's purple too, so he's kind of a cannibal. But yeah,
Yeah.
what are you thinking of this cycloptic monster?
You want to know what? It's crazy. In fact, I even messaged Flanagan about this, but um, when I was a kid, I lived in the Bay Area,
Okay.
and when I was a newborn, and there was a gentleman renting the basement of my parents' house in Alameda. And one day he took off, and he was part of that generation, and he was actually the one that wrote the song One Eyed, One Horned Giant Purple People Eater. So,
Oh, okay.
isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and Alameda's on, other side of San Francisco. So, yeah, the 60s were wild back then. Um, I dig it, and probably because it tugs at my heartstrings more.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that it's well done. Um, the one thing that's getting me is and I think it's a hand kind of coming over
The
the
wing.
left wing.
Yeah.
The one that's not holding the skull. Um, that kind of throws me a little bit. It gets kind of convoluted in there. Um, but I really love the colorway, and I love the blue outline with the purple and the black. I think that's really hot. So,
Yeah. This colorway works real well. Like we've seen it work well with Jordans. I don't know if you're like a sneakerhead at all, if you collect sneakers, but like the Great Fives came in a white colorway and a black colorway. This kind of borrows from that teal purple kind of combo. It screams like 80s too, so like that kind of old feeling. I'm with you though that left arm on our side, we're looking at on the right side. That arm almost, I don't say it doesn't need to be there, but it's just kind of acting in a weird spot, kind of moving its own wing aside. I don't know how I would fix that. I almost feel like he needs like either a bigger torso or like a more pronounced neck to kind of really. I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's drawn real cool.
Right.
He's like this like footless winged creature. Yeah.
Well, he's one-eyed, one-horned, footless.
Yeah,
There
one-eyed,
you go.
one-horned, footless thing.
But yeah, I agree. It does. It's kind of going back to the 80s cartoons almost,
Mhm.
kind of taking us back there. Kind of those secondhand comic type things that we used, that I used to see. And, even just on different shows. I don't know why He-Man's coming to me because that's not true. But yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. Cool
Yeah.
piece. Just I would work on I'm with the positioning and the composition, I think. Needs a little bit of touch up if it doesn't get through initially, but yeah, it's definitely a fun piece for sure. I think just the wing positioning is just kind of mess with me a little bit. If they were, I don't normally like the symmetrical designs, but if they were just to open it up and make it a symmetrical design, maybe it'll kind of translate better. But
Right.
Colorway is real cool. I think they nailed the colorway. Reminds me of the Jordan 5s grapes. So good piece. Reborn by Chad CBS Inc. He put up two color options within the Clink Room Discord, within our Clink Room channel within the Views from the Vault Discord. Most people voted red. I think I was like one of the lone people to vote the other blue color. But Reborn by CBS. What are your thoughts here?
The Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a little busy, but that's not a bad thing in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clean. And I guess I'm partial to the Phoenix. Back in 2018, we lost our homes in pretty large the campfire here in California.
Yeah.
So the resiliency and being reborn, I really connect with that piece here, or with this piece here. I'd like to see more of the wings. I guess less of a body and more wings. Like it's really coming out with some exuberance. But I definitely like this piece for sure.
Yeah, I do like the color play on it is real smooth. Like it's almost monochromatic. If you take out the black with all the different different hues of the reds, with the yellows and oranges, it works real well. To me, the reason why I didn't vote this colorway when he had put up the both, it just reminds me a lot of like that Phoenix Firebirds kind of logo. I feel like the blue kind of moved away from it and kind of gave it a different type of feel. But art wise, it's cool, man. Chad is a professional, man. Like he actually branded teams. Like he's worked on team identities and logos and stuff like that. So he's always got that sports feel. He's always, you can see this being put on uniforms and networking. So he's just a pro, man. So yeah, Chad, keep doing your thing. I like this one, but that was my reasoning to vote it to the blue side, is to kind of take it away from that like kind of Phoenix Firebirds identity, but still monster artist. Number 13, let's see, we got Brain Freeze, Ed Weird and Jake got together.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the pronunciation of the cheekbones. Um, you know, I heard somebody say it, but you look at it and you go, "Oh yeah, this is Edward for sure."
Yeah.
Um, I love this version of it. I know there was a prior version. Um, yeah, it's fun. It's one of those things where you look at it and you go, "Huh, what is that?" And then you go, "Oh, it's brain freeze. I get it."
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I love the straw. I think the straw's done really good.
Yeah. It's a cool
It has,
piece for
yeah,
sure. The pink works real well, complements the that kind of teal color. I'm glad he went with the strawberry ice cream, because in any other color ice cream wouldn't work, right? Obviously, like chocolate wouldn't work. It would just look like a heaping pile of something on a skull. But yeah, it's a cool piece. He's got like a graffiti um kind of
yeah,
style. I think it will embroider and it will translate very well. Colorway's kind of fun. A little late in the year to, this is like something you would want to see in the spring, but by the time you potentially would get it, would be around the right time to wear it. So maybe
right.
he's thinking five steps ahead, but
The
definitely
one, the
cool
one
piece.
thing is, and I know it's probably supposed to be a drip on the going towards the base and the back of the skull, that little round. I would almost just get rid of that.
Yeah, you don't need it.
No, you really don't. And, because it draws my eye away from the big drip.
Hmm.
And, but yeah, this is another fun piece, really well done, and such a cool style. That, his style just stands out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And we've all experienced trying to drink like a Slurpee or something slushy too fast and wanting to die for a couple minutes. So we can all kind of relate to that.
And when we
Um,
were young, we did it on purpose.
yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, moving forward, we got Galaxy Vibes by Point X and Heinz. What are you thinking here?
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Again, the logo, it what a cool design. It jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like the galaxy could be condensed
Hmm.
a little bit. Um, I mean, I understand it's pretty much the standout of the piece, but I think if it was condensed a little bit more, the mountains um, and the trees would stand out a little bit more. Um, he's just so good
Yeah.
at these landscapes, and kind of in the circle, but not, which I really like that. It's not condensed to a circle. Um, but wow, it's just, it's so detailed. I couldn't imagine that. It must be such a headache to do something like this in embroidery, but if this embroidered, it would be top notch.
Yeah. Yeah. Art wise, I have nothing to criticize about it. It's drawn or produced in such a cool way. Yeah, I worried that the execution of the embroidery a little bit. I almost feel like this is like needs to be on like a bigger canvas, like a art print, or you
Right.
know on someone's wall. I feel like so. Um, I've never really been a big fan of like the landscape stuff. It's drawn nice. It's just something. I think you mentioned you'd rather see stuff for like logos and stuff like that. So like I think I'm more in that boat. But art wise, you know I can't. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my taste, but done
Right.
real well. So
I think
great
that
piece.
he really nailed the lighting,
Yeah.
whether, because we have very large trees up here in Northern California,
Hmm.
and the lighting, whether it be snow or it just be, light of the moon kind of coming off of the trees and the mountain, I think he nailed that. I think off the water, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but yeah, I can definitely agree with you, Leon, that, that's something that could be on a wall and maybe not so much on a hat. So,
Yeah, I saw someone post something. They said something along the lines like, I don't know, I want logos, not murals. So this is kind of like, bringing back to that kind of comment. Art wise, though, beautiful piece, but
Yes.
we'll see. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, Casey and the team there is going to execute this real well. So, all right, moving forward. El Sobranian. Sombrero. Okay. Either way,
It's a mouthful.
yeah, I'm not gonna keep trying to butcher it, but Point X is back with Sierra Gons. Got this like sombrero, kind of almost Reaper skullish kind of character, branding the acoustic guitar almost. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, it's creeping me out. It's so good with the red eyes, the depth that the red eyes bring to this piece,
Yeah.
falling into the moon as the backdrop, with just the real soft lighting off the guitar. Um, you know, it's intense. But yeah, those eyes, like I almost can't even look at the screen because the eyes are like drawing me in.
Yeah.
And it's creating so much depth through it all. It's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, it's like advanced kind of color play with like the shadowing and the negative space and all that stuff. It just, for me, when I think of like sombrero and this kind of design, Brandios did one with the Albuquerque isotopes called the mariachis, and it had just, it was mostly kind of sombrero. He was wearing like a sombrero style kind of hat, and it was a skull, and it had the little tie with the little filigree. I almost feel like that kind of like less is more approach.
Right.
This is like a cool piece for sure, but it's like a lot going on in
Right.
it, right? So like, um, I just feel like we're just missing almost like that confidence to just put it out there, just put what you need and just execute. You know,
Right.
there's like a lot of space being kind of occupied and a lot of negative space being there. So I just feel like we're almost kind of just missing that like just character, like just put
Mm.
what you need on the thing and then everything else just get rid of it, you know?
Right.
So art wise it's a cool piece, a lot of tricks, a lot of little things here, but I almost wish it was just less. If that makes any sense. But all right,
Oh, yeah.
moving forward. Number 16, death metal. What are you thinking here?
I think it's cool. Um, Now, am I wrong about there being a version of this before, right? And then again,
Mm,
I think he might have done something similar before. Um, but yeah,
maybe,
I
yeah.
think, the guitar going into the scythe and, being in the graveyard with the amps. And um, I love that dull detail behind this design. I think it's done really cool, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a real cool piece. It almost reminds me of like the Grim Reaper from like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures almost.
Hmm.
Um, he's kind of almost like he's almost, instead of wearing the cloak, he's almost got like that Flasher striking jacket on. He's with the
Right,
Flash on almost. So
right.
I don't even know how you would even correct that, but yeah, I'm with you. Like the amps and the speakers behind it is like a real cool kind of like detail. Um,
Yeah, almost his gravestones. And,
yeah.
again, they did such a nice job with it, almost looks like a tuxedo jacket, kind of tattered tuxedo jacket, but
Hmm.
it looks so big compared to the skeleton. So I think as far as the depth of the piece, that has been done really well, and how the legs kind of sitting up on the amp and,
Yeah.
you know, kind of holding the piece up at the shoulders. I think they really, perspective wise, they did a really good job there.
Yeah, it kind of like that, like almost that Terminator, like T2000 almost. He's more of like almost looks like more of like a cyborg than he does like a Grim Reaper. The lower jaw a little bit, I'll just fix that a little. He kind of get like a weird kind of expression there, but smooth piece nonetheless. I love the little details that they added to it. Yeah, good piece. Soundwave and Josh. We got Pumpkin Fusion. Pumpkin Fusion. This looks like a nightmare to drink. But yeah, Soundwave is back with Ink Park. They got the funky green going, the purples and the blacks. We don't normally see a lot of rail hats going on, but yeah, what are your thoughts here?
I do love that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's missing for me, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun piece, you know. Pumpkin Fusion kind of throws me, okay, you're just filling it with booze and then go for it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, for the time of year, it's fun. I think that the tongue isn't as detailed as the other part of it. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Maybe a little
yeah,
more of an outline. Um, but yeah, it's fun. You got that green coming down the side of the pumpkin, kind of leaking out. Yeah, it's fun.
yeah. This is one of those again that you gotta kind of to like suspend belief a little bit. You got the guts coming out or the foam coming out of the top, but then the jack o'
Right,
lantern is actual holes. So, where's the liquid really going
right,
into it? So if
right.
you can, suspend that belief a little bit, cool. Um, it's like a rad piece. It doesn't really make much sense. I, I don't know you're a complete savage if you're drinking out of a pumpkin like a like a jack o' lantern. Uh,
Oh,
but yeah,
believe me,
it's
there
like
were there were times, Leon,
oh they were okay. Uh,
way back when.
fair enough. Yeah, it's a cool piece. Halloween,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a fun
colors are
piece.
great.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. All right, 18 ape hangers. Levi and Phil got together, so our
Banger,
second motorcycle of the week.
banger.
What are you thinking? Yeah, you like it?
I love it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's classic Phil style,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's great to see Levi back.
Yeah.
I know he's probably been on, doing a lot of writing, and so it incorporates, his I mean, it's classic. I
Yeah.
mean, it's absolutely fun,
Definitely.
and I'm just a Phil fan. Um, even to the little smoke coming out of the pipe, and all of it with the Kong. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
And the
Definitely.
purple, the purple with the red, it looks really good. I love the helmet, the detail. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. I don't have really much to critique about. I just kind of wish the tongue kind of went over the frame a little bit. But other than that, it's a cool
Right?
piece, man. Uh,
Yeah, it's really cool.
yeah. Maybe just exaggerate the tailpipe a little bit, make it a little bit more kind of strong, I guess. But other than that, fun piece, man. Definitely
Yeah,
cool.
really fun.
All right. Golden Doom by Milos. What are your thoughts here?
Very, very detail oriented here.
Mm,
Um, yeah, it's beautiful art. Um, but Golden Doom, I don't know. Is that sand? Is it, you know,
and it's
is
gold
it
coins. He got
gold
to the
coins? Yeah,
treasure that the dragon is protecting.
right, right. And yeah, it's fun. I mean, Milos, come on, what an
Yeah,
artist.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's just not. I like it. It's just not something that I can see myself, wearing. Again, it's maybe like blacklight. poster style stuff that you see that the dragon is intense, but the detail on the guy with the torch and I get the concept there, but yeah, it's really hard for me to tell that that's gold other than in the name. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I almost feel like you just wipe out the full front. Forget the guy, forget the gold. Just do like a really cool dragon kind of hidden half on a hat, and you're right there. Like you're
yeah,
almost kind
or
of
maybe
wasting the dragon.
not so much gold, but incorporate jewels somehow.
Jewels, yeah, maybe some
Get rid
dead
of the
bones,
guy.
maybe some
Yeah, there you go.
bones, some dead
Add your skull.
knights. Yeah,
Yeah. Or there you go, like a sword, that's, lodged into the jewels or the gold, whatever.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it just doesn't really scream that that's a treasure. It looks more like, quicksand, I guess. And I'm not saying that to be rude at all. It's just
yeah, yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
I almost feel like you don't need the front part. Just have the dragon be badass. Maybe have some whispering fire coming, half like preheated and in his mouth, ready to spit out.
Right.
Kind of have that like, because the dragon is like the main star of the show, and you almost get lost in the
And
details.
taking the breath kind of into,
Yeah,
or just kind of have
yeah,
it moving into for
yeah.
sure.
And I almost feel weird saying it because all these other ones that had no story, I'm like, oh, I wish there was a story. And now like we get this like story, and we're like, oh, fuck the story, just make it. But sometimes that's just
Get
my
rid of
opinion.
this,
So
get rid of it. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. What
But
do I know anyway? I'm
yeah, exactly. But killer artist, man. I love
oh,
Milish's
so good.
work. Yeah.
The detail of that dragon is awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you've watched House of Dragon at all, but I feel like there's plenty of scenes kind of like hidden like this with the dragon in the dragon lair and kind of hidden.
Right.
But yeah, great piece. All right, last but not least, we got Aurelian coming through with the Minotaur. I feel like he's done a couple Minotaur ones. This might be a fresh take on it though. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, it just doesn't really scream Minotaur to me.
Yeah.
It's more like Bullseye, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I like the artwork. It just, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, and that's sometimes the name can be deceiving, and maybe I'm missing something. But to me, it just looks like, a bull after a bullfight that's, ready to be, I guess,
Yeah.
or, and I don't know if that's a target or a maze or I don't understand that, but
Yeah, I think like the Minotaur is like the guardian of the maze, or the Minotaurs have something to
okay,
do with mazes. So like the blood overflowing is probably like the path that his like last victim kind of took. So like that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know if maybe chaining the angle or the perspective of the head maybe would help kind of show like it's like dripping out of his mouth and forming the
right,
bloodline in the maze. But it's a cool piece.
yeah, for
Um,
sure,
yeah, just a couple small tweaks here and there, maybe just a different angle or maybe the size of it, maybe I don't know, something about it. The composition is just it's right there though. Like I love the blood drip off almost the beard he's got. I
yeah,
just want it to feel more of it like flowing proper. I
yeah,
don't even
and
know how you'd even express that, but yeah.
yeah, and I feel bad because it's like, oh, explain it to me,
Hmm.
but I mean, I guess that's kind of how I am with what I like to collect. It's just
Yeah.
like I don't want to have to explain it, I guess. But that's just me. But it's so cool.
Yeah,
It's really well done.
definitely. Definitely. But all right, we made it through that 20, man. Thank you so much. You've been really gracious with your time. you agreed right away when I approached you to be on the show, so I appreciate you for sure for doing that. Where can people kind of connect with you?
You can connect with me on Instagram at Bigflyz. I'm on Facebook as Babz Bigflyz. I just kind of throw up, if I do bats, I throw them up, and I customize those for people, and I pretty much stick to my artwork just being on Instagram because I like to separate that for the most part. But I really appreciate being on the show with you and finally getting to meet you.
Yeah, definitely.
I really appreciate what Clink Room has done for artists, really all around the globe, that they can express themselves in the ways they have, and then to put them on a hat. And the whole thing is it's really awesome. And I hope that the community can just stay positive, come together and know that we're all doing the same thing. And I know we've run into some things, but hopefully, as we talked about earlier, don't be discouraged, and mostly just try to be kind to each other, and let's be a real positive community and a great place for everybody to be. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, this has been cool to kind of get to know you more on a personal level. I hope when we do more of like the community episodes, you'll be able to kind of tap in and kind of meet the rest of the folks, and
for sure,
kind of do that. I'm gonna do my best to do that type of show where we kind of tag in whoever wants to join. Probably aiming for like mid-October ish would be the next one, kind of before Halloween. So make sure you tap in on that one, whether you're in the comments or even kind of join in. I think those are really important, and kind of building the community again, and kind of just make it less cliquey. Just have everyone kind of just get along better. But yeah, definitely appreciate your time today. And
well, thank you again.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. For Kevin and Leon, right here. Peace.
You're at the end of the world, as you know it, my dude. Time is up and you out of mood, so what will you do? It's the BP mercenaries, not here to